Happy Friday and happy 2014. I'm Adam Smith, the Communications Director of Public Campaign. And this week we brought you dozens of articles on money and politics and our Daily Clips Roundup. Let's look at a few top stories. Wholly outside spending stories, Batman. Here's what we learned this week. The Huffington Post reported that dark money groups, those that don't have to disclose their donors, spent over $27 million in 2013 on electoral campaigns and issue ads targeting specific candidates. And they're just getting started. An AP headline this week blared that outside spending by groups like super PACs and politically active nonprofits could play a key factor in the 2014 elections. That's probably an understatement. USA Today reported on the growing trend of candidate-specific super PACs, groups created by friends or allies of the candidates for the sole purpose of electing that candidate, making a mockery of anti-coordination rules. Over a dozen have already been created. And we likely won't know the extent of all of this outside spending until well after Election Day in November, if the Washington Post report this week on the spending of the Koch brothers is any guide. The billionaire energy tycoons and their network of donors funneled $400 million in secret donations to 17 entities in 2012. It far surpassed anything we've ever seen and any network of donors on the left. Here's a graphic of that network that is almost impossible to decipher, which, of course, was the point. Here are a few more stories to check out. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a trade association of some of the country's largest corporations, reiterated its vow this week to get involved in GOP primary races to make sure they get their preferred candidates elected. Chamber President Tom Donahue said of candidates, "I think they're well-intentioned people, except when they get to Washington, they're not going to do what we want them to do, so why should we help them get there?" Ah yes, democracy, where corporations get what they want out of politicians. Ready for Hillary donors are, well, ready for Hillary. The former Secretary of State hasn't announced her intentions yet, and 2016 is a long ways away, but the Super PAC announced it raised $4 million in 2013. And following a year marred by scandal in Virginia, the state legislature there is poised to move forward with ethics reforms, including more transparency and limits on gifts from lobbyists. It's the least they could do. And that's all for us this week. It's going to be a big year for money and politics, so make sure you're signed up for our Daily Clips report at publiccampaign.org/dailyclips. If you're already signed up, please tell your friends about it. Or even tell people you don't like. Really, just tell people about it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.